EmttasiaTV.
EmttasiaTV, why should I see this video?
Well friends, in this video of Startup Simplified quick course, you'll learn more about startup options, possibilities. You'll make some decisions about your startup. Why you should be doing some decisions. Interesting. You'll understand more in this video. You'll learn what are the types of startups, what is this B2B, B2C, B2 what and more. What are the industry standard classification of startups and businesses? How are startup classified? Now, what are the classifications? What type of startup you can start? You will get to know from this video. We'll tell you some key factors to help you with your first decisions. Let's get started. Yes, in this quick course 2 of EmttasiaTV Startup University, you'll understand more about decision and preparation.
Why should I be doing decisions?
See, as an entrepreneur, you are going to drive each and everything in your startup, in your business. You are your own boss. No one tells you what decisions to make, Nobody comes and says, this is what you should be doing. So you need to figure it out. So entrepreneurs play a very key role in any economy that you can think of, because these are the people who have skills and initiative necessary and the leadership qualities, to anticipate current and future needs. What is required now, what might be the interesting product tomorrow, right? And bring good new ideas to market. So those are the people a country needs, who can create stuff, who can lead the team, who can do the business, and also play important role in the economy of the country as well as people. So what are the qualities or personalities of an entrepreneur, right? So willingness to take risk. You're the person who come out and take risk. You come out of your comfort zone and try out some new things every day. You have ability to tolerate ambiguity and uncertainty. You don't even know what is coming next today or tomorrow. What are the problems that are going to come up? Not only deal with it, tolerate that, but also you have to solve it and move forward. So you possess the skills of innovation, new ideas of product or even a service, and start a business out of it. You need to think what is that possible from your side and then start a business or a company out of it. You recognize the opportunity involved in each and every area, any opportunity in any domain, but preferably in your expertise, or you collaborate with one more person who complement your skill set and then you start the company. What are the types of startups? There are types of companies possible that are classified as B2C, that is business to consumer. You are directly going to give some product and you sell it to the end consumer without anyone else in between, or probably just a distributor. But you are selling it to the retailer or who is going to sell it in the market. Or you can do B2B, where business to business, you're only giving some product or a service to the another company, which in turn might integrate your product or service and then sell it in the market. Or you may do B2G, business to governments, and the government might make use of your product or service. So that is a B2G company. So there can be 100 more like this, but these are the main categories. We'll see other classification further in this video. What are the other segments that are possible to have startups? EduTech, right? EduTech, all educational related products or services. Healthcare, health tech. So you can have healthcare products and service. FinTech, that is finance technology, right? And the agri-tech, agriculture related technology products or service. Food tech, and the green tech, the biotech, ad tech, that is advertisement tech, or HR tech. So there are so much of possibilities in each area. Figure out what you're capable of, which domain or this classification that you belong to, then start something there. So there are many more like property tech, insurance tech, wealth tech. This is a subsegment of fintech, regulatory or reg tech, regulation tech, legal tech, femtech, that is a female technology. So if you can see, there are so many classification possible in this startup. You just need to pick one or two, shortlist those one or two, and explore more about them on the internet and talk to others and see what are the opportunities available there. follow other instructions and lessons explained in these EmttasiaTV videos of Startup Simplified course, then you are ready to start a company.
What decisions should I be doing?
So while making decisions, I want you to consider these two options. Options 1, my wish, my way. I call this name because you don't want to start a company which is going to be big. You just want to have a company that you want to run it for your lifetime and not planning to get investment. You don't want to give away stake or the power to anyone else. You'll continue to earn a regular minimum income to take care of your family. In this case, you will not mostly try to make it big company, or you don't want to go to IPO. So you'll not approach a VC or an investor, right? You'll focus on getting some business to survive very small scale, operate small. But the advantage is you're the boss, what you want to do and what you don't want to do. There is no board or director or investor sitting above you to influence your decisions on what you want to do day to day, right? So this is my wish, my way option.
Help me with the first decision.
Option 2, I call this big dreams and big act. You start a company based on a great product idea that you have, and then you collaborate with multiple partners, and then you want to attract investment, get funding from venture capitalists or angel investors and etc. Give away stake to them. A company with this objective will and can become a very big, deal with investors, large customer, bigger problems, and the bigger success. So you'll build a product or a company keeping in mind how to impress not just your customer but also your investors, right? You have to impress the investors, and then you will compromise your income initially but spend heavily. Even you might take loans from bank, right? Or you create a prototype, attract few beta customers, then try to make it famous so that investment community observes you. So all that you do, you'll try to attract more and more people as partners, investors, or even customers. So you might collaborate with other complementing companies or partners to get more network. So this is option 2, big dreams, big act. So you decide which option you like to work on. What is your main objective? Both has advantages and disadvantages.
What homework should I do before start?
Yes, definitely you need to do some homework. We'll help you with that. So some preparation you need to do, some factors to be decided by you. So we'll define one by one. So please give importance to these portion. Let's say the company objective. So what is that? While submitting to register a private limited company, you need to give some, the company objective and details like that, and what do you want to do in the company. So that is captured in MOA, Memorandum of Association. So a Memorandum of Association, MOA, so you can consider this as a legal document prepared in the formation and registration of the company. So it defines a relationship with the shareholders. So for example, the memorandum contains the name of the company, registered office, main and other objectives of the company, liability of the members, the authorized capital of the company. So all this will be captured in MOA. So basically the main purpose of this memorandum is to limit the scope of activities and the powers of the company. So the MOA, the articles and the association, the AOA, all this serves the constitution of the company. So the MOA and the AOA serves as the constitution of the company.
What should I know before starting?
Yes, you need to also know paid up capital, because you need to decide all this while registering a company. So the measure of cash that is really paid by the investors to the organization for financing the organization. Say paid up capital is amount of the money a company has received from shareholders. Shareholders will be you and your friend or your family, somebody who is jointly opening a company, right? So in exchange of the shares of the stock, you will have to pay this for the exchange of shares of the stock of the company. So the paid up capital is created when a company sells its shares on the primary market directly to the the investors, typically the founders of the company. So the Companies Act 2013. So the Companies Act 2013 mandated that all the private limited companies will have a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh rupees. So the provision meant 1 lakh rupee worth of money had to be invested in the company by the founders to purchase company shares to start the business. So, but the Companies Amendment Act 2015 relaxed the minimum requirement for paid up capital. Therefore, there is now no requirement for minimum capital to be invested to start a private limited company. There is no 1 lakh or anything to be as a minimum capital requirement to start the company. So imagine you and your wife or a brother or a friend open a private limited company together. Both of you will pay together 1 lakh rupee to the company. Example, then say you got 95%, then you will be paying 95,000 and your partner is going to pay 5,000 because he got 5%. But as I said, in 2015 Amendment Act, Companies Amendment Act, it is relaxed. So there is no need of minimum 1 lakh to be paid as a paid up capital, but typically it is paid as 1 lakh.
That's good. What else?
So the other thing that you need to know is just like paid up capital, you need to know authorized capital. The authorized capital of the company, you need to understand that this is a maximum capital that a company can raise, maximum capital at any point of time. So basically, authorized capital is decided by shareholders, that is typically the founders. And when a company is floated or formed, subscribers to the memorandum decide the authorized capital, how much it should be. The initial authorized capital of the company is mentioned in the MOA. The Memorandum of Association will contain what is the authorized capital of the company. While registration, you will mention that. But subsequently, when the business has the need for rise of more capital, then it has to raise its authorized capital limit also. So it can be raised so that it can seek more funds from the investors. Now you are successful as two partners are successful and started a business. It is successful, so then investors might come in. So this authorized capital can be raised. So this decision is usually taken in the annual general meeting, AGM. Just note this, we'll explain you more on this. This is AGM, annual general meeting. So by the majority of the shareholders will decide this increase in the authorized capital. So in summary, you need to note that authorized capital is a maximum amount of capital that is a company can have. This is stated in MOA. This can be changed only by passing special resolution in the general meeting. So keep in mind, authorized capital is a limit to which companies can raise shares, to whom it can raise shares for the shareholders, that is normally your founders, and cannot cross beyond that limit. So the thumb rule is, therefore the companies get registered with capital which is quite above the current needs of the financing. So it will be typically more than the current needs, so that the capital can be further raised when there is a need arises. So this is a flexibility you get with this. Hope you understand authorized capital.
What should I know before starting?
So let's take an example to understand more about authorized capital. If a company A, a private limited company, has an authorized capital of 20 lakhs, let's take an example of 20 lakhs. It means ABC Private Limited Company can issue shares worth up to 20 lakhs to its investors. Company A cannot issue shares worth 21 lakhs to its investors. However, anything lower than that is possible, that is, companies still can issue shares worth 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs. The cap is 20 lakhs. Another point to note here is that the authorized capital can be increased anytime a company wants it, provided the shareholders approve it. So in order to increase the limit along with the shareholders approval, there is some additional fee that has to be paid to the registrar of companies, government.
What is the difference between them?
So what is the difference between the paid up capital and authorized capital? Let's understand that further. Authorized capital is the maximum value of the shares that company is legally authorized to issue to the shareholders, whereas paid up capital is amount that is actually paid by the shareholders to the company. So authorized capital is the maximum amount of the capital that a company can have, that is stated in MOA. This can be changed only by passing special resolution in the general meeting. We'll see what is board resolution and other stuff in later videos. So paid up capital is amount received by shareholders in the form of capital. So paid up capital is always less than the authorized capital.
What company shall I register?
So what are the types of company registration, the options you have? So we will help you to decide on that. So let's understand first what is a private limited company. It's a type of privately held small business entity. Means private companies are those companies where all shares of the companies are held privately. So that means typically founders will have all the shares. So they can operate the business themselves or they can hire directors to manage the company on their behalf. It is so basically the private limited is an entity in which privately held by some shareholders. The liability of the shareholders is limited to the extent of their shareholding. Means the personal assets of the directors are not touched, or in case there's some loans or debts to be repaid by the company, then the directors are protected. So the private limited company is a separate legal entity, meaning law treats company and its members, that is owners, as separate persons.
Okay. Guide me about LLP.
So what is the other option that you have? That is LLP. It is limited liability partnership. So the cost of registering LLP is very low compared to the other company, private limited. So it is one of the form of the business where both partnership and corporation exist, where the partnership is with limited liability. It is registered under LLP Act 2008 with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, MCA, and LLP can be formed by any amount of the capital. So there is no need for minimum capital of required for this business. The LLP, you cannot raise money from the public. So you need to remember, you cannot raise money from the public. So it requires minimum 2 partners and there is no limit on the maximum number of partners for the LLP. There is no limit. So minimum 2 partners are required. So all limited companies have to get their accounts audited, but in case of LLP, no such requirement, although the audit is required when the contributions of the LLP exceeds 25 lakhs or annual turnover exceeds 40 lakhs, only then the audit is required. So LLP has to file only 2 things, that is annual return and the statement of accounts and solvency. So only these minimum procedures are there, compliance are there in LLP compared to the private limited.
I am confused about these.
Don't worry, we'll help you to understand the comparison between private limited and LLP. So let's simplify this further. So quickly see the comparison of private limited and LLP. The private limited, it allows the possibility of NRI or FDI, foreign direct investment. Remember, typically VC investors prefers to invest in private limited. If you are seeking more funding, then private limited is the answer. So in private limited, ESOPs are allowed, employee stock options plan is allowed. You can issue some kind of stocks to your founding members, the initial employees who are working with you right from the beginning of the company. Here even shareholder agreement is possible in private limited. The other great advantage is the ability to go to public limited company, right? So it can be registered one day in IPO. But don't forget, you need a strong and trustworthy partner. So you know really that he or she will be with you for many years until this private limited company succeeds. So if you have such kind of a partner and then you have bigger dreams to establish this as a big company, then private limited is the answer.
Can you compare and elaborate more?
So to help you further understand the comparison between private limited and LLP, let's go one by one parameter. So initial setup cost is more in private limited and less in LLP. So both are limited liability, protecting the personal assets of the directors, but closing private limited is not so easy without following legal procedures. So then ESOP, employee stock option plan, is possible in private limited, not possible in LLP. Differential voting is possible in private limited and not possible in LLP. The scalability advantage, if you take private limited, it is possible, and LLP it is not possible. So private limited can be converted to public limited, LLP you cannot. Clear responsibilities of this director defined in private limited, hence it helps you to govern the company well. and getting risk and capital investment is high in private limited. You can go for higher, you can go for the funding. LLP it is not possible. So typically what happens, so VCs of LLP won't get better voting rights and exit options. So that's why VC, venture capitalist, prefer to invest in private limited.
Interesting, tell me more.
Yes, really it's interesting. As you know, the brand value of the private limited is better than LLP. It is widely known, public know about these private limited companies, and even the NRI and FDI, both it is possible in both private limited and LLP, but it's possible that LLP demands one person has to be in the India as a resident, but otherwise you can see that a lot of investment happening in the private limited. If you compare the positive taxation in private limited is not so, but in LLP yes. So the profit distributed as dividend to founders, it can attract tax in private limited, but not in LLP. And attracting talent. So in this case, private limited gets the vote because attracting talent to LLP will be really challenging. Cannot share wealth with the employees well in the LLP. That's why even the talent, the resources, engineers or the employee pool prefers to work in private limited kind of arrangement. So EmttasiaTV team, we believe that you learned a lot about in this video on the startup. In this video, Startup Simplified quick course, you learn more about startup options, possibilities. You understood some decisions about your startup. You know why you should start doing decisions so that you take care of what your business deserve and do how to succeed. You learned what are the types of startups and classification. You know B2B, B2C, B2G or whatever the classification of the technology or the startups people talk about that, then you know what it means. We thought you got some key factors to help you with your first decisions about your company. Thank you.
Definitely yes, thank you. I will be glad to subscribe to your channel.
Thank you for subscribing to our channel and please share this video with your friends.